In this box is hopefully an answer to the question, are 27.5 mountain bikes dead? Oh yeah. So this is a brand new Pivot Mach 6, and I'm not sure if you know this, but a few companies out there still make full 27.5 bikes. And I'm not talking entry-level stuff too. Brands like Propane, Nolly, Yeti, and Pivot still produce high-end 27.5s. I get comments all the time saying that 27.5s are more fun, they're more agile, more playful, and I believe it. I'm at the point where I'm okay with saying that I like mullet or mixed wheel bikes better than I do a full 29er, but I do wonder if a full 27.5 has any negatives to it. For months now, I've been wanting to try out a 27.5, basically ever since I tried that older YT last year. And I've been eyeing up a Yeti SB135 for a while. It's 27.5, but then I came across this Pivot Mach 6 that was marked down to a super good deal. The Pivot Mach 6 Brunch Ride Marzocchi coil is a complete bike going for $31.99. This seemed too good to be true because it's cheaper than the frame only option. And this will be the first time using a Pivot on this channel, which is crazy because they're based out of Phoenix where I used to live. And to me, Pivot always seemed out of my price range. I'd see reviews and it would be like, this Pivot model that was tested was $12,500. So I never really looked at the build specs on Pivot until now, but they have like 30 different build specs for each model, and there's a lot that are much less expensive. And then this one for $3,200, I'd go as far as saying that this is almost an affordable Pivot. Before getting into this build on my channel, I like to look up the history of bike brands before trying them out the first time. It is something I like to do. And like I mentioned, Pivot is out of Phoenix, Arizona, founded in 2007 by Chris Kokolis. But the history goes back much further than that. In 1990, Chris founded a bike company called Titus Cycles, one of the first companies to build a full suspension titanium XC bike with a 4-bar horse link. Titus was all about improving mountain bikes by focusing on frame stiffness, a major problem with early mountain bikes. Chris would eventually leave Titus and a year later launch Pivot bikes in 2007 with the Mach 4 and the Mach 5. Pivot pushed the next level of mountain bike innovation with a press fit 92 bottom bracket and the direct mount front derailleur, but also a big change with a DW link. And these are all standards that they use today, even on this Mach 6 right here, but there is one standard on this bike that is very controversial, especially in the Pink Bike comment section. More on that later. But let's get into the full unboxing. And when I ordered this from N+1 Bikes, Sean told me that Pivot threw in some upgrades for me, and I'm not really sure why they did that. I'm not even sure what I'm gonna get, but let's find out. Oh, factory 38, what? So the official Brunch Ride 27.5 spec of this bike is supposed to come with the Marzocchi Z1 fork, but the spec sheet has changed a lot since I ordered this. Before it said it was a Dior derailleur, now Eagle 90, but they sent me this. I've got the cassette. What do we got here? Oh, Dior XT cassette, all right. Okay, what does that mean? XT derailleur? See what we got here? Oh, XTR. Let's go, dude. It was also supposed to come with SRAM DB8 brakes. Oh, we got some SRAM Code Silvers. I like these. So this is definitely a huge deviation from the Brunch Ride spec, but the goal of this video isn't an in-depth review of this exact bike, more like a test to see if a new 27.5 is worth it. Oh! Oh, what? No way! A Fox transfer dropper, dude. Man, this is crazy. I don't even know what to say other than thanks for the upgrades, Pivot. These parts are like my favorite. XTR cable, new Fox transfer dropper. This thing is pretty awesome. And I love SRAM code brakes when they're fresh, but dude, I'm getting excited to ride this thing. Let's start building it. This Mach 6 has 158 millimeters of rear travel, 160 front, and I went with a size medium with a 460 millimeter reach and a 65-degree head tube angle. That's a little smaller than I normally run, but I figure smaller wheels go for the smaller frame. I do worry about the stack being 589 millimeters. Some of my bikes are like 650 stack, so I hope that's not too low and I don't have to put some ape hangers on this thing. I am throwing on some 1UP carbon bars with 30 millimeter rise to help compensate though. So I went to grab the cranks and I realized these race face cranks are 175 millimeters and that's a little too long for me. So fortunately I have these Shimano SLX cranks on hand. These are 170 millimeters. And I think the mix and match of this whole Mach 6 thing is because this came directly from Pivot as like a media bike, and I requested that I want to build the bike myself. And normally if you buy a bike online, they build it up, triple test it, and then send it to you mostly built with like the front wheel and the bars off. So I'm special. Let's get it built up. I recently bought a new tool, not sponsored, just super excited for it. I've been enjoying a 3-way Allen tool, but I realized there's way more 3mm bolts on a bike than 6mm. So I ordered a 4-way tool from Abbey Bikes with 3, 4, and 5mm and a T25, and I'm super pumped on it so far. I thought Abbey Tools was in the UK, that's why I hadn't tried them before. I didn't want to pay import fees, but turns out they're in Bend, Oregon. So let me know if you've tried any of their tools before. All right, man, this bike is looking good. This has actually turned out better than I expected. But let's talk about the controversial thing about this bike. If you go in the Pink Bike comment section, people are always talking about the rear through axle. This Mach 6 has a super boost rear end. It's 12 by 157 through axle, which is 9mm wider than regular boost spacing that most bikes have. If you've spoke to wheel before, you can probably tell in order to fit a 12-speed cassette, the flange of the hub is dang near in the center line. This causes spokes to form a scaling triangle and be almost vertical on the drive side. The spoke tension is super uneven this way. With Super Boost, the spokes form a nice triangle for more even tension and a stronger wheel. And that's why everyone on Pink Bike is up in arms. It's over this Super Boost. And that is a big deal for some. Like in my case, I have a lot of spare wheels, but they're not Super Boost, and I can't buy a spacer to use those wheels, so they're not gonna work on this bike. So because Super Boost is not as common, and I like upgrading bikes, I went with a carbon wheel version of this build. For an extra $600, I have some awesome Reynolds Black Label carbon rims with straight pull bladed spokes, i9 Hydra hubs, and these come with a lifetime warranty, just like the frame. I have no problem with Super Boost. I actually think it's a good thing. I just wish it was widely adopted so we could all be on Boost or all be on Super Boost. Well, the bike is almost complete, and man, this is one of those bikes that just looks way better in person. And I mean, this thing just looks like an enduro beast. I'm pretty impressed, and I cannot wait to see how much this thing weighs. I still gotta do a couple things, like I gotta tune it up. I'll do that off camera. I'm gonna install the pedals. I gotta install this dropper. Then we can go ride some enduro. Well, I got the bike dialed in, I was riding it on the street, and it was actually really fun. I was doing like wheelies and stuff. The bike felt really playful, but the front wheel felt so far away. It seemed so small compared to a 29er front wheel. And I don't know, man, like it was fun just kind of riding around on the street. And if this 27.5 is only fun, like just dicking around, riding on the street, maybe riding some jump trails locally, I'm fine with that. I kind of want that out of a bike, just a local bike, you know? But we're on our way to Lake Leatherwood, the Enduro Shuttle Park, about an hour from Bentonville. I can't wait to see how capable this bike is. Man, it is good to be back out here. I love this place. This is where you go if you want to shred some gnarly trails. DH5 is technically a blue trail, but this is probably one of the spiciest blues in all of the area. It's pretty chunky, and with this 27.5, I think it's going to be even more chunky. So let's hit this and hopefully it goes well. All right, so far so good. Just from what I've ridden, it's like the front wheel I can definitely tell is a lot smaller, and it's weird. This whole thing is putting me in a much more forward bias, which I actually kind of need because I have a bad habit of being rear biased. It's just a bad BMX habit. So this might actually be a good helper to remind me to like weight the front, because I'm not really feeling too confident on that front wheel just yet. But coming up, this is where the trail gets real rocky, and I come prepared. I got the knee pads on, so we'll see if this 27.5 has problems rolling over these big rocks, because it gets pretty chunky down here. Let's hit it. All right, here we go. A little nervous, not gonna lie. These rocks are looking extra big with these smaller wheels. Gotta be timid here, whoa. Whoa, that's crazy. Like the rock rolls, the bike was fine. My perspective is definitely changed with these smaller wheels. Like I feel like the rocks are bigger and I have to navigate through it accordingly. Like I'm definitely tiptoeing through it, but the thing is, it's not less fun. I'm actually having more fun right now, and I'm sure it's gonna get better as I get confidence being over the front a little bit more. But this trail here, DH5, is pretty cool because it starts with like flowy jumps, and then it has like rock rolls, rock armored rock rolls. And right here, this is where it starts to be like these ledges and these like staircases. And this is where your 27.5 front wheel could get sucked into a hole and really cause some problems. So let's see how this goes. All right, here we go. Kind of scary. Here goes a big thud. A little uphill section right here. Yeah, so this bike climbs well. It's really comfy, but it does not climb uphill on this kind of stuff that well. But still fun. Oh, here we go, more rocks, more ledges. Oh, yeah. Oh. Whew, survived the trail. What do you guys think? How do I look? I still feel pretty timid on this bike just because it's such a different vibe. It's a complete different body position. And I'm with my cameraman Phil here, and he's been on the Ibis Oso. And that bike, I've been hopping on that bike back and forth, and that front wheel just feels massive. And hopping on this bike, the best way I could describe it is it just feels like, look, check this out. It just feels balanced. Like the front wheel is not gigantic. The bike just feels balanced. And while I'm like climbing and stuff, my torso is elongated. I don't feel like my bars are up in my face. And the punchy little switchbacks are actually easier on this bike. And if I could give it an analogy, I feel like this bike feels like a utility truck on airbag suspension, whereas like my Ibis Ripley feels like a Honda Civic Type R with like race suspension and stuff like that. So it's a completely different vibe, and I like it. And I've had some people ask like, oh, the 27.5 might feel like a BMX bike like you're used to. And I'm not really feeling that, to be honest with you. It just feels like a smaller version of a 29er. And this bike, I mean, it could just be that this bike is just the absolute perfect geometry for me, because it feels like it just feels really good. Or it could be that 27.5s are just fun. I've been riding 29s so much that it just feels kind of different. And the interesting thing with this bike is it is slower. On my ride, I actually rode it yesterday around town in Bentonville, and my average speed was like 1.5 miles per hour less than normal. So it is slower. It feels slower on the rock gardens and stuff. But what if that's kind of what I want? What if I want to just have like a chill bike where I can ride it with friends and the local stuff feels kind of spicy and fun again? And that's kind of what I'm going for with this bike. So let me know if you have any experiences with a full 27.5. Let me know if you like it more or like the 29ers more. I know that people that are like 6'1" have to be on 29ers, like in order for it to feel right. But at 5'9", this medium pivot Mach 6 is actually pretty sick. And oh, I actually want to test one more thing, and that's some drops. So let's hit the climb and see how it feels on drops.
So, are 27.5s dead? I thought they were, but this bike changed that. It reminded me that 27.5s aren't outdated, they're just different. Less about speed and more about feel. It slowed me down just enough to make every line a little more raw, every corner a little more alive. They're definitely more playful. The truth is, none of us know where the mountain bike industry is headed. 32-inch wheels are already being tested, and just like 26ers, brands could stop making 27.5s. But none of that matters out on the trail. If your bike rolls, ride it. Don't get caught up in the trends. Don't wait for the perfect setup. The best bike is the one under you, the one that takes you outside, onto the trail, into the moment. But when it's just you and the trail, it doesn't matter what wheel size you're on. What matters is that you're riding. And if you're ready to ride something special, this exact Pivot Mach 6 is on sale right now at N+1 Bikes for $3,200, and you can buy it as a mullet. Tell them Evan sent you, and they'll hook you up with a $100 gift card towards gear or upgrades. Links in the description, go check it out. I'm going to take next week off from posting a video, so in the meantime, check out the new community tab on my channel page. Think of it like a subreddit. Post your bike, talk to others, ask for advice, and happy 4th of July.